Oh, watch both BC games from here. This is good. That's my wife down there.
Welcome back to the 2017 Canadian Lawn Bowling Championships. I'm Jake Shuknik, joined again by Ivo Van Pastelaar. Did I pronounce that right?
That's right.
Hey.
Good job.
Getting lucky at this.
Good job. When in doubt, just call me Alphabet.
Our feature match today is men's fours. We have Alberta A against BC A.
And this promises to be a really good game. We got really strong players on both sides.
Pat was telling me that this is the rematch for these two skips of the 2015 mixed pairs finals. I guess Christy Graham and Pat Bird played each other in the mixed pairs finals a couple of years back. 2015, I can't remember where that would have been. Might have been BC, maybe?
Could have been.
I don't recall. I know last year it was in St. Catharines in Ontario, but the year before that, I think it might have been BC? Can't recall. Two great opening bowls there from Herman. If you're listening and you're in the area, come on down to the Juan de Fuca Lawn Bowling Club this week, as you'll be treated to some excellent bowling, as these are our major championships, the creme de la crop. Starting tomorrow, we're also going to be setting up our little booth where we sell all our Bowls Canada gear, so check that out for sweaters, jackets, hats, visors, all sorts of clothing supplies. And if you can actually see the stickers on the bowls, Alberta is pink and BC is gold.
And right now we have Stanley up for BC.
That's a very unique delivery he has. He gets down into the crouch and then it's just all arm.
It seems to work pretty well for him, though.
Mm-hmm.
Stanley Chow. Been bowling with Chris Graham for many, many years. And Christy Graham, of course, is a fixture in lawn bowling.
Mm-hmm.
And Francis is bringing in his second bowl right now. That's Francis Standen.
Just sailing through. Not sure if he was looking to find that back black one or not.
Stanley Chow is perhaps one of the most unusual deliveries, is he? Almost corkscrews.
It's definitely unique, but if you can replicate it, then whatever works, I guess.
Well, that puts him down 2 at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And Lyle Adams playing third. Normally he bowls skip, but he's put Pat in that position this time. Another good bowl coming in. Looks like just about shot drawn.
Yeah, well, that's a great shot there. I'm sure he would have hoped for a flop on the other side instead of back against the bias.
Lyle's had great exposure to a lot of places to bowl in the world through his business with all of the lawn bowling equipment.
Wood Bay Turf and Tech or something like that?
That's correct, yeah.
Oh, that's a great response there.
Nice bowl. Stephen just managed to wick in. Pat's calling him in for a promotion or a straight draw. He certainly got the weight.
Got the weight, but just a little wide.
Just a little wide. And Christie calling in for a chop and lie.
Mm-hmm.
Stephen's a real steady bowler too. And he's through.
Wide and through as well.
Looks like the green has maybe perhaps picked up a little bit of speed for this afternoon.
Yeah, it must have. That's 4 bowls in the ditch.
Pat Bird and Lyle Adams have bowled together for many years.
Mm-hmm.
I think I recall him saying that that Herman's been part of that grouping quite often too.
Oh, yeah.
I was talking to him earlier. First bowl down here for the skips is going to be Pat Bird.
The Birdman.
That Birdman.
He is a southpaw. See if he can take some different lines. Very strobe color type of bowl. I find those give me a bit of a headache if I watch them too long.
Not quite as bad as the red, white, and blue though.
Yeah, those really get you.
Woof. Make you seasick watching them.
Yep, yep.
Christie's got such a casual, relaxed delivery.
Mm-hmm.
He's bowling with different bowls than he has been in previous years.
Is there a reason for that?
He was saying that his hands are just getting a little stiff to handle the bigger bowls. He was bowling with 5, and I think he's stepped down to a 3.
Mm-hmm.
Well, BC's still holding shot. And I think he's going to come up shy on this one. Take his point and run.
Yeah.
More of a practice shot than something serious.
Mm-hmm. So that is 1 BC.
And Clement gets to throw the ball.
Interesting to note that he's wearing the traditional all-white getup. I guess all cream or color as that is, but not too often do you see people wearing pure whites anymore.
No, it isn't. Clement Law.
I think we have the local news here on the balcony over yonder. Got this camera set up,
Ah, terrific.
which is good news.
So we do have the local TV station that's going to be broadcasting the Nationals on the local TV.
Mm-hmm.
Clement puts in a great first bowl, Jack level. And this is Herman Cooper.
Now this is going to be tricky for us this game to update scores for this deck because we're right parallel with all the scoreboards, so we're not going to be able to see anything else on this deck. We can see the deck beside us here is deck D, so we can update those scores, but anybody else on A, we're not going to be able to tell you much.
Clement puts in a second good bowl, picking up a shot bowl just behind the jack.
If you go to bowlscanada.com, in the top right corner, there should be a link to it. You click that and it'll take to it.
And Herman's getting ready to deliver his second bowl. Coming in the same hand, hoping to rest Clement's first bowl. Clement's shot bowl, excuse me. Which he just about does. Leaving room for Stanley now. Excellent draw bowler.
Mm-hmm.
Full crouch, full arm delivery.
Very quick with the release, though. Sort
Quick
of snaps
release.
forward.
He sure got his weight figured out well, though. good position just behind. A little on the wide side. See how he makes his correction on the next bowl. And this is now Francis Standen. Ooh, not sure he wanted to do that. That would have been Clement's first bowl that just got pushed in for second shot.
Francis has green bowls, which is one of the only colored sets on this rink. Pat Bird has those half red, half bluish, and then Francis has the green, but everybody else seems to be playing with black or brown, so you'll be able to see Pat and Francis's bowls pretty quickly.
Yeah. There's the back bowl. He's got he went deep on that one. It's certainly not a large draw.
No.
Francis puts in a beautiful shot.
Just on the outside.
Just knocks out second. Actually, I think it's still two. Well, he hit second bowl. Stephen Leung just delivered. Really lays it down nicely.
Nice and smooth. That's a great weight there. Looking over on the rink next door between Ontario and the other Alberta Force team, I think that's 2 wins in a row now. I've seen them bring the mat right up. I'm not sure who's delivering the jack and whose strategy that is, but that's interesting to start a game with the mat way up like that. That's a good bowl there from Lyle.
That's is that Alberta A on the next?
Alberta B.
Alberta B, excuse me. It's Alberta B against Ontario, isn't it?
Yep. That would be Ontario A, I believe.
Ontario A. Yep, that was. So I believe we have BC still sitting shot.
Mm-hmm.
And Lyle's bowl is sitting in their second position. Chris Graham spends very little time on the mat. Sees his bowl, sees his shot, gets on the mat and throws it.
This could be a potentially quick game then.
Just drawing in behind. Pat Bird, another southpaw.
Mm-hmm. One thing that's difficult with fours is ever trying to stream this, you've got, you know, a whole plethora of people standing right in the head that you're not going to be able to see a whole lot.
Yeah, that's true. I think Pat just knocked his shot bowl out. And Christie's coming in on a beautiful bowl here. He picks it up. Oh, he just missed it. I think that's leaving Alberta sitting one. And Pat's got his last bowl left. I think I would probably favor him coming in on his backhand.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, his forehand, excuse me. Southpaw. Well, he's going to try his backhand again. Just going to draw it.
Could be close if he's there.
He's just about there. He is.
Yeah.
Beautiful draw shot.
Beautiful draw shot.
Excellent shot. For 2. There's Pat's bowl out. And Stephen concedes the second shot.
Yeah, so 2 it is.
Beautiful draw bowl by
Mm-hmm.
Pat on his last shot.
You can see Lyle coming down here this way. I think he's the only Vice that's coming this way from this game.
Got a heck of a limp, giving testimony to his bad knee.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Something that happens as we get older. We get a few ailments.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
He's certainly weathered through it. He continues to bowl. From what I understand, he's the greens up in Edmonton that he's been part and parcel of helping out with are running really good. Supposedly up in the area of 14 seconds. The Commonwealth greens.
That would not surprise me.
And Herman gets to throw the first bowl on this one. Coming up shy. You notice that first bowl, you're trying so hard to get it on the jack, and you come up short.
Sometimes you just put too much pressure on yourself, and sometimes you just need to really relax and not think too
That's
much
right.
about it, and just roll your bowl. You've done this 1,000, 10,000 times before, most likely. It's
Just do it.
just do it.
And Clement doesn't lose the opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
Good position, just behind the jack. About 4 feet back. Maybe a little deep, but potentially usable. Nobody ever complains about a back bowl.
No, not usually. As long as it's still on the rink, they're usually pretty happy.
Yeah, good adjustment here.
Just crashing on his short.
Well, maybe help get it out of the way a bit. If you're going to plant it there, you might as well get it out of the way. Clement makes a great adjustment here. Draws it cold. Shot drawn.
What a beautiful
Lovely
bowl.
bowl. Lovely bowl. And a toucher at that. This will be Francis Standen now.
He has a very deliberate follow-through on his shot.
Oh, very close.
Not a bad spot to be.
That's a point waiting to happen.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, Stanley's delivery is certainly one of a kind.
Yep. Yeah, you can say that again. I'm curious how he'll hold up by the end of the week. How that'll take its toll on his body.
I've seen him handle long competitions. He's been doing it for a good number of years.
Yeah, I guess eventually you must just get used to it.
Look at this. Good adjustment.
Beautiful
Wow.
bowl.
Wow.
Pat's having a good chuckle about that, saying, yeah, that's just what I wanted. Brilliant.
And can Stanley do the same?
Yeah, now that you saw him do it with the bowl before, can you follow it down and say take that?
He's a little high.
Pretty good weight for the shot, though.
Oh, excellent weight for the shot. Don't like a back bowls.
Yep. Yep. One thing that I'm hoping we can do for the rest of the week going forward is start timing these force games to see where they'd be at after 2 hours and 45 minutes. Because as it stands right now, next year they were looking at having fours attempt to be played 18 ends in 2 hours and 45 minutes, which is definitely going to be pushing it, to say the least. So one thing that we're probably going to be trying to do here is see where exactly would all the forest games be at the 2 hour 45 minute mark if they haven't killed any ends, because that's another kicker, is that with Respot next year then there won't be any dead ends.
Are the flippers keeping track of the time in and time out?
On each scorecard they have to actually write down the time it started and the time it finished, so we'll be able to see how long it took them to play 18 ends, but we won't be able to tell how many dead ends they've had or where exactly they'd be at the 2:45 mark. So,
well, if they go to resetting the jack instead of burning the end, they get a better chance of making it.
Of making that, yeah. But I wouldn't be surprised if, after looking at all the times here this week, that they might make a decision to either cut it down to 16 ends or maybe expand it up to 3 hours, just because that's tough to do.
Yeah, on that last bowl which Lyle threw, I made that to be just over 12 seconds, so the green speed is increasing a little bit already.
Oh,
Look at that.
Great shot there.
Great shot by Stanley. Oh, that was Stephen, excuse me. Stephen Young pulls off almost an identical shot to what Francis had.
That shot is definitely there and still there.
Same one again.
Yeah, just keep doing it, just keep doing it.
And if anybody can do it, Pat can. And if anybody can follow it down, Christy can.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
So I got a good end looking here. Is the camera able to see past the head?
I can see just where everybody's standing there, and I can see up to the short bulls
And
there.
here comes Pat. Look at this. Oh!
Just outside.
Don't give him 2 shots at it.
Yeah, you're definitely going to want to be changing that up, changing angle, maybe move the jack a little bit, change something.
Which Christy might do here.
And
Oh,
it's definitely not what he was
takes
hoping
his
for.
own bowl out. Not what he wanted to do. So Lyle's calling him in just to plant a guard about a foot and a half out in front. Just a little concerned about the potential for a drag.
Yeah, exactly. You can just up the weight and play inside of a guard right now, so I'm not sure if that's...
Oh, he's got a lovely bowl here. I would say that's just about what Lyle called for.
I think you could still just play inside that if you up the weight a little bit, and if you splice the jack or take it with you.
Yeah, he's got to have it just about perfect because BC's got 2 back bowls here. He gets inside. Now, is he going to get inside?
Not quite. Outside.
Oh dear.
So that'll be 2 for Alberta to make it 4-1 after 3.
That program you were mentioning earlier was Lawn Bowls Manager?
Yeah, lawnbowlingmanager.com.
Lawnbowlingmanager.com or .ca?
I believe it's .com, but I can see if I can pull that up here now, actually. I'll flip the camera to the other side so you can keep viewing that. Yeah, so it is lawnbowlingmanager.com. So
Super.
It's your one-stop shop for a lawn bowling management system. It's your website. It can be a club database. It can hold your league night and tournaments.
It's an excellent tool for all of the clubs. Use this in all of the divisions. It'd make it a lot easier for the boys to communicate the information out to the public.
It's got lots of opportunities for making money as well, as they have a rolling banner at the bottom. So if you can find sponsors, you just toss their ad in there and let the money roll in.
What an opportunity. Let's hope some of the clubs take advantage of it.
I believe it's reasonably priced based on membership. So if you have between 0 and 120 members, then they charge you something like $30 a month. But if you can find any sort of sponsorship to cover that, to display their ad on your website, then that basically takes care of itself.
That'd be a great tool. Oh,
That's a great bowl there.
lovely bowl by Herman. Sorry about that.
Yeah, that's all right.
I get a better view from up a little higher.
Mm-hmm.
And Clement just comes down and ooh,
Just pushes Herman's bowl, but I don't think quite enough. Yeah, Pat says we're still holding one. Just come down to this bowl here.
there's Francis Standen again. Made that lovely shot in the last end.
Mm-hmm.
Gave Alberta that opportunity to get another 2.
Looks to be a little outside to me.
He's on the professional side. Looks about 2 feet in front of the jack.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of room for Stanley to slip in there, though.
Stanley's definitely looking to play that hand and just squeak inside.
It looks like he might be trying for a little bit of a rub. He misses that.
Yeah.
And it actually tracked out.
Yeah, tracked out of bounds. How about that?
You don't see that very often from Stanley. Francis planting another one down.
And that should be in the area.
Almost identical to the previous bowl. Really
Yeah.
steady bowler. This looks to be better weight and better line. I believe that's a size 3. I'm not sure if it's an ABT or a Classic 2.
What type of bowl do you play with usually?
Classic 2.
Classic 2?
Classic 2, size 6.
Size 6.
Size 6.
That's wonderful.
That's my little one. My other one's a size 7.
I always said if I could find a colored set of size 7s, I would love to use them. Unfortunately, they don't make them anymore.
No. Lyle's a real steady bowler. He's coming up a little short on this one. Considering the challenges that he has in his delivery, it's because of his ailments. He sure puts in a nice bowl. He's been doing it a lot of years.
He has. When
Oh, look at this.
oh, what a beautiful shot.
Oh,
Beautiful shot.
that was Stephen Young again.
Fun fact about Lyle, when I was streaming the North American Challenge last year, I did some digging to find some facts and whatnot to talk about on the broadcast, and Lyle's actually one of the founding fathers of the North American Challenge.
Where's Lyle Adams?
He's one of them. He's the one who got the discussions going with USA. I can't remember the gentleman's name. I think it was Dick Brown, maybe? I can't remember. But yeah, Lyle was the one who initiated that discussion and got things going back in 1993 or 1995, somewhere back then.
Yeah, he's been at it a long time.
Mm-hmm. When we ordered our new chalk liner off him, he told me he was heading down to Arizona to help them build it or refurbish their green down there at one of them, and he travels all over quite a lot to build new greens or revamp them. Or
Well, he's built a couple of them down there and refurbished a couple of them now. Just this year he finished Lakeview Greens, and a few years back he gave the consultation on another set of greens at Bell. Unfortunately, they never followed his advice, so now he's going back to do them properly. And instead of just asking for advice, they asked him to do it this time.
Right. Well, famous saying, you know, if you want something done right, you got to do it yourself.
That's
So.
just about it.
And he definitely knows a thing or two. He's been in the business for probably more years than I've been alive, so. Definitely the expert you want to be working on your greens.
Well, when you consider the investment in a green and how easily you can lose membership if you don't have a good green surface.
Mm-hmm.
And even if it's not running fast, you can lose members, you know.
Yep. Yep.
So it's getting the right equipment. Just having the expertise and the knowledge to know what's needed when it's needed.
Keeping a green in good, healthy condition can be quite the endeavor, especially if you don't have the numbers to help out and support it.
And it's a catch-22. If you let your green surface deteriorate, you lose your numbers, which you needed to keep it up.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a very tricky situation to balance the two perfectly.
Look at Pat's delivery, just beautiful, smooth delivery.
Pat Bird will actually be packing up his bags here relatively soon. He's off to the 2017 Champion of Champions down in New South Wales, Australia. I believe it's at St. John's Park.
Hmm.
Him and Mary Wright will be heading down under to represent Canada this fall. I don't remember the exact dates, but I think it's end of October, early November,
I believe you're correct.
somewhere around there.
Just great opportunities for bowlers, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Travel the world.
I didn't quite catch the count on that end.
I missed it.
Definitely BC, but I don't know how many. I think she just flipped it once.
I think I see a 2.
Yeah, I think that's what I caught too.
Yeah, so it'll be 4-2.
4-2 after 4.
Yeah, our granddaughter started lawn bowling when she was 12 and was on the international scene by the time she was 18.
Well, there you go. There you go. And what was her name?
Caitlin Brierly.
Caitlin Brierly. I know her. I've been actually trying to wrangle her arm to come out here because I didn't know who I'd be finding for a commentator.
Oh,
And I've played with her at camp many a time, so I said, hey, you're from Victoria. Why don't you get down here and
sure.
hop on the broadcast? But she is very...
Well, she's my granddaughter, so I can get her on text if you want.
Well, she's not too keen on the idea. She
Uh-huh.
said, you can find anybody else, but if you can't find anyone, I'll do it. But anybody before me works.
I had to take a back step from lawn bowling for a little while she got her career established, and
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
so now that she's got a full-time job, we expect to see her out lawn bowling again.
I certainly hope so. First met her back in 2008 in Manitoba at the juniors. Was the first time I met her.
And she double golded 1 year.
Yeah, yeah.
And got the under 18s and the under 25s.
And that's no easy task.
Here's Clement putting in his second bowl. He's got a toucher in the ditch. And he's close. He's
Very
close. Look at that
close.
for it. Draws it to the ditch. Whoa.
So that shows you just how nice these greens are here, that you can actually draw to the ditch without rolling off. I've been to so many decks where it's just downhill at the end there and you can't get anywhere near.
Yeah, you get past the tee.
Yeah, and it's just away it goes. Good luck.
Down in Arizona, sometimes the bowl rolls 6 or 7 feet after it stops.
One of the drills that we had to do at camp one year was draw within a mat length of the ditch, which is a sort of a very, I wouldn't say famous drill, but they're known for doing it a lot at a lot of camps.
That's a challenge.
The one club that we were at was actually all downhill slopes. It was actually impossible to do it unless you had a bowl there that you could rest on to stop you.
Well, what I've seen happen is that they draw to the ditch 3 greens over.
Mm-hmm. And then just let it try to draw back around, kind of.
Well, no, they just go 3 greens be over. So by the time you're coming into the jack, you're going parallel to the plinth. Look at this. Oh,
Just through.
So Francis's first bowl coming down now.
And Pat Baird just said this way, jack in the ditch or reach their bowl. So he's definitely saying no need to be short here. Make it or break it.
Yep. Now there's no need to block up the head.
But I think that
Which
Francis got
is-
scared. Yeah. Tried to keep it alive, and he kept it alive way too much.
Stanley should be able to twist in there for another one.
Yeah, I'm curious how many bowls we'll actually see on the green by the time this end is done, now that the jack is within a foot of the ditch, or 2 feet, I guess.
Well, 3 on the green, 1 in the ditch, 2 in the bank.
There, got
3
the
on
jack.
the. Oh, and he
There we
takes the
go.
jack to the ditch. What a bowl!
So guaranteed 1 for BC this end, as I don't think there are any pink touchers alive.
And he didn't take it in all that fast either. He
No,
just
just-
trailed it nicely.
Just a nice little trickle in.
Now comes the challenge of drawing to the ditch.
Yeah, that's no easy task.
This isn't far off.
Might be a
This is not
little
far
quick.
off.
Just creeping in.
Oh! Stephen Young is going to go after second shot, I suspect.
Mm-hmm. I wouldn't be surprised if by the time Pat gets to the mat, they're driving off any of those bowls just so they're only giving up 1.
Oh.
Just.
Well, it could be BC sitting. It's 1, 2.
2 for sure.
Christie says it's 2.
I've heard so many umpire calls already this game. And they might be busy this round. George Cubis and his crew of officials will be used quite a bit. Big thanks to them for working all week. No easy task to be an umpire, as a lot of times you make half the people happy and you piss off the other half.
Yeah, you can't please everybody.
Not easily.
Okay, see if Lyle can draw the ditch.
He's close.
He is close.
Just
He is drawing second shot. Lovely done.
beautiful bowl.
Lovely ball. He's got second shot for sure.
Must be because he wears the baseball cap backwards. That's the key.
And Christie's calling Stephen in to take second shot out,
And
which he
bingo.
does.
And sticking
And
around.
stays.
Wow. What a shot.
Oh, Christie is happy with that one.
Absolutely.
Lyle's turn.
Yeah.
He's
see?
got to do the same thing.
Exactly.
Ooh,
Now it's difficult here though because you want your weight to be nice so that you're sticking around. You don't want to be following it into the ditch either. So you have to be
just a lot of control needed on your weight.
yeah, very touchy with your weight.
He's not far off. He's not far off.
Just inside.
So it'll be up to Pat Bird to
To try to push it in.
try to push it in.
Christie has first bowl though, so I'm sure he'll be looking to maybe block it or draw the ditch on a slightly different side.
I expect he'll try draw on the other side. No, he's coming in on that on the same ball.
Do you think he's throwing a guard here, trying to block it off so that way Pat can't drive it in?
It could be.
Based on that weight, I'm not so sure.
Just a little heavy.
Pat's spending a lot of time looking at this. I wonder if he's what he's thinking about, because I feel like for me that would be a pretty straight. You push it in the ditch, you try to stay. I'm not sure what sort of angle you're looking at. Are you looking at using your pink short bowl there, or?
Well, it could have. Yeah, it's just the 2 points by the looks of it from here.
Mm-hmm.
So the idea is just to take it to the ditch. You know, put the second shot in the ditch. And that multicolored bowl, is that an arrow bowl that he's throwing? I believe it is.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it is. They're starting to get pretty popular over here. I've seen more and more people using them. Don't know if I'd ever switch from the ones that I use now, but yeah,
What
quite
are you
colorful.
bowling now?
I've always used Taylor Spectrums. That's been my steady bowl for the past decade or so.
Good bowl.
Well, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So I
That's it.
haven't really felt the need to switch to anything different. I'm sure that would change if I were to be playing on faster surfaces.
I had a really nice set of aces that I really liked for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
I was going away on a vacation for a bit, and a bowler wanted to try them out. And he enjoyed them so much that he wouldn't give them back. He replaced them with a different set for me, which was nowhere near as nice. They cost him more than I paid, but
Yeah.
hey, got a measurement on here.
So that'll be Helen LaRue coming over here to check things out.
And she's from
New Brunswick, I believe.
New Brunswick.
Yeah, all the way from New Brunswick. She'll be the head event umpire at the mixed pairs in Quebec. So she's getting her work cut out for her, getting a little practice in here now before then.
So in a national, is there an umpire from every province that comes up?
No, actually it's normally just up to the host province to recruit enough. So normally here I would have assumed that Davey would have just found a bunch of umpires from the island, and then that would have been that. So I'm not sure if she was maybe here visiting family or if she was coming for another reason already and just happened to be in the area.
We've got a lot of well-qualified umpires in British Columbia.
Mm-hmm.
It's good to have an umpire from another province.
Absolutely. It's good practice too if you're going to be umpiring at a major event and running it later to get your feet wet first before you jump right in.
And that's Steve Foster down there helping her.
Mm-hmm.
And careful to wedge the bowl.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit tricky measuring to the jack in the ditch on this one.
It's interesting how many different measuring devices they have that they can use. I've spent a fair bit of time replacing the umpire toolkits that we had in the office, and there was I don't know how many different types of measures and strings and everything else that you can use to figure out who's shot. There's much more than what's required from strictly a World Bowls officiating toolkit perspective, but never a bad idea to have more than you need.
Makes you wonder when they're going to bring out a digital measuring device.
I actually saw, I think it's called the Measure Line or the Bowls Laser Line or something like that, where it's just a laser that you put next to the jack, and then you have the other receiver that you put in front of the bowl, and it's just a laser, and it measures and tells you that's 49.374 inches away or whatever, and
it's got sufficient accuracy to do that.
Yeah.
Of course, then you always have to question the calibration of it.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. I didn't quite find out whether that was one or two that PC got there, because I know they definitely had the one that was sitting on top.
I believe it was 2 and a measure for the third, and I think it was 3 because I see the DC's now sitting 5. So
5-4, all right.
take a commanding lead. Long jack, about a 3-meter mat. Looks like it's just about on the tee.
Yeah, just about.
Just so important to stay down on the delivery like Clement does there.
Mm-hmm.
Bull gets all the way.
Maybe too much.
A little bit too much. He might have been counting the revolutions to see how long the green was.
Big thanks to Davey Matthey and Annie Matthey and their whole crew of volunteers, as it's been non-stop work for all the volunteers here to get things ready. And now that we're finally underway with the first day, I'm sure they're happy to be playing and not planning anymore.
Harman brings up his first bowl a little short. Clement has a chance to make the right adjustment here. It looks like a very good adjustment.
Yeah, that
Excellent
looks like
adjustment.
Could be
He
beautiful
is
shot.
right on the jack.
Right on top. What a great bowl.
Great adjustment. See if Herman can make the same adjustment. Nice delivery as well. And an excellent adjustment
Yeah,
there
he's
too.
in the area.
He is in the area for sure. Ooh.
Sticking around just.
And he holds the ditch.
Just. Well, as we saw last end, that ditch draw can be useful. After this end, all of these players should be pretty good at that by now, to be playing just about tee to tee full length.
And Stanley's got a good looking bowl there as well. Looks like he'll be covering off the back bowl. No, he's
Just
covering off the
trickling.
ditch.
Are you a fan of playing fours?
Pardon me?
Are you a fan of playing
I
fours?
am.
Yeah? Fours is
I
your
am.
go-to?
I love fours. I really enjoy fours. You got one shot to read the green and one shot to make it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Personally, I see it as the apex of the bowling.
It's definitely different from any other format, and it really is a team game in that sense that it really does make a difference who you're playing with. I find if you're playing triples or pairs, I don't mind so much who I'm playing with, but in a fours game, you really rely on each other to.
Everybody's got to play their position.
Yeah.
Oh, look, a nice adjustment there. There we go. Our Mr. Christy Graham is happy with that shot.
Yeah, I would assume so.
Stanley's just a real reliable bowler, you know. There's no grass growing under Francis's feet either, though. Real steady.
Mm-hmm. He's going to be chasing this one down here.
Did he stay down long enough to get it down there?
That is sometimes the biggest issue with chasing your bowl down, is that you
Yeah.
don't stay down long enough and you
Yeah.
end up coming up short. You just look like a fool chasing your bowl down because you're going up 6 feet short.
Yeah. I think Steven might be a little short too. Let's see how that.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to get there.
Yeah. He was not happy with that shot. And how are we doing over on green one?
Yeah, looking at D-deck here, this is the women's fours. That's actually Annie Matthey on the mat right now. She's winning 12-2 over Alberta A.
On the fifth end, they must have had some big ends.
Yeah. And I actually can't see any full scoreboards on any other deck as there's so many people standing in front of them.
All right, Lyle Adams on the mat again.
He must be up there for most Canadian championships that he's attended. I'm not sure what the record would be, but he's been to many.
He's always well represented in the States as well.
Mm-hmm.
And the South Centrals. He bowls in the South Central Division in Arizona.
Okay, yeah.
And so often he's in the championship flight.
Mm-hmm. That does not surprise me one bit.
He didn't sound like he was happy with that delivery.
No, I don't think so.
His arm was a little odd.
As he crashed on that bull, he certainly shows. I didn't mention this earlier today, but I probably should have, that we're looking to recruit new members for our board at Bowls Canada, as well as coming out soon will be for our committees. So if you're interested at all with volunteering for Bowls Canada and to make a change in bowls, head on over to our website. There's a tab there under opportunities and get involved. You'll be able to find the job description for being on the board, as well as all the position descriptions for being on any of the committees. It can be tremendously rewarding to volunteer with Bowls Canada and make a change, make a difference, have your voice heard.
Great opportunity to be giving back.
Absolutely, absolutely. And if you're lucky enough, you might even get to work with me, as I get to deal with a couple of the committees, and once in a while I get to talk to the board, so have to listen to me once in a while.
Lyle Bird trying to get in for a shot, I think. Is he going to do it? He's got a good line.
It's definitely not short.
There goes the jack.
There goes. And he killed it.
Burnt end.
Pat's sort of chuckling as he's walking back. I don't think he was trying to kill it. I think he was just trying to get it back into the ditch.
Yeah, I would have probably preferred to have stayed with it.
just missed by a fraction, and away it goes.
That university that I was talking about was Grand Canyon State. Grand Canyon State University. Apparently they've got a really good program in sports management.
Happy to say we finally got our executive director. Finally showed up today. Your plane got in around noon. She's finally here. So if you have any questions, comments, complaints, concerns, and you're in the area, you can head on over and find either our president, David Kalem, or our executive director, Anna Mies, and go and talk to them. They've got all week to listen and to hear what you have to say. They also take emails. I don't know if they'll be taking phone calls this week, but I know, having been to this is the second time I've been to the majors to stream this, there's always a few bowlers who have some ideas or suggestions on how we can improve things, and we'd love to hear from you.
It's really nice to hear constructive ideas as opposed to criticisms.
Yeah. Quite often we'll end up getting those constructive ideas, and it's just we haven't thought of that. And someone will say, well, why don't you do it like this? And well, hey, that's a good idea. We just didn't think of that. So thanks for bringing that up.
Or here's a challenge and here's a potential solution to it.
Yep. Oh, that's a great opening bowl there from Clement.
Beautiful start. Beautiful start. And Clement's playing long jacks.
Indeed, this is very tee to tee. The mat's covering that 2 meter mark. So.
And jack looks like it's on the tee on the far end. They're very close to it.
Yeah, very close to it.
Clement's going to stay with his hand, which is what you'd expect for a lead in fours.
Absolutely. When you only have 2 bowls, there's not much need to ever switch your hand. At best,
look at this.
At worst, there's only 2 bowls in front of you on the green.
He had lovely weight. He just drew a little bit on the inside. I think that last bowl of Herman's just put him off a bit.
That really takes off on you when you come a little inside, though.
And that could be too.
As we saw earlier, a bowl went completely out of bounds as he pulled it tight.
How's that go? It's perfectly made bowls, played on an imperfect green. With a high degree of uncertainty. Again, Stanley Chow throwing his first bowl down. Draws in.
Draws in behind. Will it
Close
stay on?
to the ditch again. Getting the speed on this length of jack is always a challenge.
Mm-hmm. It's so far away, and sometimes even if your eyesight's just off by a little bit, that can be the difference between being on the jack or being in the ditch.
Looks like Francis is coming up short.
Yeah, well short there. After seeing the last one go in the ditch, I'm sure he might have had that in his head.
It's interesting how that affects a bowler psychologically.
Mm-hmm.
You see the previous bowl go in the ditch, and all of a sudden you make the adjustment for him and come up shy. Last thought that goes through your mind is, I don't want to be long.
Yep. Yeah. Can't remember who it was when I was growing up. Someone told me your first bowl should always be 4 to 6 feet past the jack, because that might throw off your opponent thinking that it's heavy and they'll come up short. And 4 to 6 feet past the jack is still a useful bowl, but a short bowl not so much. Don't know if I believe in that logic anymore, but that was a interesting tidbit of advice I was given.
Yeah, I like the logic of mat length. Get it within mat length.
Yep. Yep.
And Stanley had to switch hands there on that last bowl and came in nice weight, beautiful weight.
And Francis is just really struggling to get his weight here on these tee to tee.
Building a wall.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're down, don't be short.
Yeah. Yeah, ain't that the truth?
And Steven's got a nice bowl coming in here. Is he up
the legs
enough? He's up enough for second shot, I think.
Yeah, that'll be good for second.
Lyle's got his work cut out for him again.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. He's been under pressure many times before, and I'd have to think, since he's used to skipping, and now that he's not, that's even less pressure on him. He's probably much more relaxed here right now, I would think.
Well, usually the third's job is to get shot or rearrange the furniture.
Mm-hmm.
And he's got good weight on there. Just if he gets past Francis's bowl, which he did. Oh, nice green, just the weight.
Just passed.
And notice it really drops off to the south side there once the bowl starts slowing down.
Mm-hmm.
Steven's got another nice shot in here. Ooh, look at that.
Just bringing it with him. That's
just his weight. My gosh. Toucher in the ditch. And he went from up 2 to just up 1. Put the jack out in the open. He's going to give
Lyle a crack at it.
Yeah, give Lyle a chance now. You can see it.
Do you think he'll be looking to put it in the ditch or just draw close to it?
He is probably going to try to draw close to it on the right-hand side.
I think he's coming up well short
and
on
he's
this.
going to fall short.
Well
I got
short.
a hunch the jack's proximity to the ditch has given him a little bit of trepidation. Jack in the ditch without the bowl, it would be could be problematic.
Yep. Yep.
But the bowl in the ditch without the jack is equally as problematic.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
This is one of the shots which Christy Graham really excels at. Open draw, close to the ditch. He's probably one of the fastest of guys on the mat.
I was just gonna say, I love how quick he is.
Yep.
That is beautiful to see.
I'll bet you he's not much more than 3 seconds on the mat.
Mm-hmm. Not much. Not much.
Came up shy though.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't like it. He gave his head a shake.
Well, I'd probably give my head a shake too after coming up that shy when the jack's only a foot or two from the ditch.
I believe he's bowling sapphires.
Sapphires.
Sapphires. Just shows you that the skill in the bowl is more important than the bowl you throw.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I often say that if I could bowl as good as my bowl does, I'd be a really good bowler.
Pat's not coming up short on this. He's not wasting any chances.
I think he's just clearing the path so he can make a draw on it. Chris Graham's second bowl. And how's he going to do? He is going to draw a second shot if he
Will
stays on
stay?
the green.
No, in the ditch.
Pat's got one chance to cut him down. He's not going to be shy, that's for sure. And how's his... he's in the ditch.
Yeah.
Another one for BC.
That'll make it 6-4.
That's correct. Can't see how any of the other teams are doing here with our view.
But I can tell you behind us in the women's fours, BCA is up 12-4 over Alberta A. And next door, Alberta B is down 7-1 against Ontario A.
That should be...
Is that women's triples or women's fours? That's women's fours as well.
Wind's just starting to pick up a little bit here. A little bit of a crosswind.
It's kind of interesting, Herman's delivery there. He starts with his non-bowling hand resting on his sort of the opposite leg. He takes it off as soon as he delivers, but...
Is that Herman, you say?
Yeah, next time he delivers his bowl, take a look at that.
What's happening here? I see a bowl in the back. Is that Clement's first bowl? Must have been.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's got two of them on the back. Is he going to stop? Yes, he's going to stop.
Time? Yeah, he will.
Kept it on the green. He owns the ditch. Oh, yes.
Yeah, he just rested there. As soon as he takes a step, then lets it go.
Just opens up his arm. I don't think I've ever seen that before in a delivery.
No, yeah, that's... I've seen it once or twice from different people, but it's not... doesn't serve much of a purpose, really.
Real consistent with his bowls, though.
Yeah. Hovering right around the tee, which is where the jack has been the last few ends, so now that the jack's a little bit shorter, his bowls are still there.
And Stanley's going to just walk on by a little bit. No, he isn't. He rested second shot. Francis's first bowl. Lays it down nice and smoothly.
Very smooth delivery.
It looks like he may have shot with that one. He does. About 4 feet behind the jack, 3.5 feet.
Got a nice little question here from Daryl Fitzgerald. Which province's uniforms do you like the best?
Oh, I think Quebec's.
Quebec's do look sharp. They got some new ones this year.
Yeah, they have got a really sharp uniform this year. It wasn't not the one I see out there right now.
Yeah, no, none of them are wearing it today, but we saw them last night.
Yeah. Actually, I think BC's are probably the nicest today. BC's or Alberta. Alberta's got a really nice.
Alberta does have a nice nice uniform.
I'm personally a little bit more partial to the BC colors, but then I would be, right?
I like Saskatchewan's jerseys. They're new this year as well. They look very sleek.
Yeah, they do.
Very sharp. That's well inside, and I think that's in the ditch.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Pat's stopping to pick that up.
I think that's Earl Friedman from Ontario just coming down. I just arrived in the head just a minute ago with the hat.
Oh yeah, yep.
He goes down to Arizona to bowl as well.
Mm-hmm.
Real good draw bowler. And Stephen Young is in the ditch as well.
Yeah, just through. Seems like everybody's a little aggressive here now. That this is what, the 5th or 6th end in a row that they've been playing T to T, and they're still launching a few of them just a little too far.
Well, I think with only one in the head, BC would be well advised to put a second one in the head.
Yeah, you could say that again.
It is a toucher, though.
I wouldn't be surprised if Lyle's looking to sort of move that up a little bit, just give it a little more separation, so that way you can get rid of it.
I think Lyle is going to try to move his bowls up into closer to the jack or to hit shot bowl, coming in with his backhand.
Mm-hmm.
And is he going to make contact? He does.
Yeah, but not quite enough, though.
Not enough.
One roll won't do it.
So we'll see if Stephen takes off a little bit of weight here. Got to get the second one to the head.
And I think he did. Christie was clapping before it even came to stop.
Nicely done.
Look at that.
Just bullies his way through the opponent's bowls to take whip to sit shot. 2 in the head.
Pat's calling to just rest that back bowl there and flop in for 1.
It might be a little on the shy side.
Mm-hmm.
A little narrow, a little heavy.
That's so difficult when you're looking to just rest out a bowl. You don't need too much weight, and it's even trickier when the jack's less than 6 feet from the ditch.
I think the idea is just to go after second shot, first shot or second shot, right? And make that your jack and put that into perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Try to rest it easier than trying to get shot, but it's probably what he was trying to do there. Christie no sooner got down there than his bowl's on his way. Look at this, he's bringing it in for third shot. Actually just
a little too far, just pushed it away and replaced it.
Tips second shot into the back position, which is a really good, strong position to be in. He's got his back bowl now. The jack's unlikely to come forward.
Mm-hmm.
Lyle's calling Pat on the same shot that Pat called him on. He's not shy, that's for sure. He's coming back with a little bit of passion. Missed. So, Christie, can you do it again? He's not far off.
In the ballpark.
Look at this.
Just through, found all the holes and in the ditch.
Just had a little bit of extra weight on it.
The Birdman's going to come down and take a look. have a feeling this game could very easily go down to the wire. I wouldn't be surprised if the 18th end is a 1 or 2 point differential at that point.
I wouldn't be surprised either. (6-4). BC's holding 2. Pat's got 1 bowl left to come. All he has to do is make contact.
Pretty important bowl here, though, because if he misses, BC's lying at least 2.
At least 2, and it could be a measure for 3.
Which would make it 8-4, and that starts to
hurt.
You start to notice that differential.
Real test of Pat's persistence here.
He's definitely not short on this.
No, he's got something. No, he doesn't.
No, inside.
He has 2 bowls almost identical.
So that's for
1,
sure
2 out.
2 to BC for sure. And Lyle's kicking away the rest as they measure these two.
Stephen Young doing the measuring. I can't quite see through Francis as to who got it, but it's close enough that he's doing it twice. He got 3. 3 for BC. 8-4.
9-4.
9-4?
Yeah.
9-4. That's correct. Sorry.
There's a couple playing for Alberta, John and Jen McDonald, that just had a baby. It's only, I think, 4 months old, and yet both of them are competing in the event here this week. So they brought along one of their parents to babysit for the week. But I thought that is dedication to bowls, to be having a 4-month-old and still competing in a national championship for a week is pretty impressive.
It is. And of course, I think most people know that Steven Santana and his wife had their first.
That's right.
Everybody is encouraging him to go for a mixed fours team.
I was pleasantly surprised when Shannon told me last October that she was pregnant.
Isn't that great, eh?
It's absolutely fantastic.
A real solid bowling family, that the Santanas. Steve was in a competition with his young brother, who only bowls in competitions.
Okay.
Whose first sport is basketball and only comes out at Steve's requirement. And if he was serious about lawn bowling, he'd be a phenomenal bowler, just like Steve. And of course, their dad Herman was a real attribute to the sports.
Yeah, he was a great guy. And Herman's not too happy with that.
Tended to come up narrow, which again we've seen time and time again when people get a little bit uptight, eh? A little tense, maybe. Theoretically, we should see the BC bowlers starting to really press in now. This is when the experience really shows. You know, when you're up and you bowl like you're down.
Yep, exactly. Exactly.
You know, Stanley put a lovely bowl in there, probably about just over a foot short.
Quite the delivery there, Francis. His pre-delivery, the way he holds the bowl, he uses his non-bowling hand to just sort of steady it in his hand. Has 2 fingers on it, so he's got both hands touching his bowl almost, which is
And he draws shot.
Beautiful shot there.
Look at that beautiful shot. Real pressure bowl there for Francis, and he made it. Nice and cool. Doesn't get rattled. Stanley virtually bowls out of a stationary stance.
Mm-hmm.
Takes the step, holds it.
I guess that's less moving parts to worry about then. If there's anything ever wrong with your delivery or something's wrong, it's literally just the arm that you have to worry about because it's just
That's
arm
it.
movement.
That's it. Eliminate the variables.
Yeah.
Yes, 2 hands on the bowl.
Yeah. Just to keep it steady, and then away you go.
He's got another nice bowl here.
Does it have the legs?
Just a tad shy.
Just a bit short.
So Alberta holding 1 down there. Christie calling him in on the, calling Stephen in. His backhand to either push Stanley up or to take Francis out. A little healthy.
Well, that's a good way to phrase it. That's definitely, definitely a little healthy.
Just a wee bit too much passion there. I think Christie was looking for something a little less.
Just a little.
It'd be nice to stay on the green. You know?
Yeah.
It's got a potential of being a future point if it stays on the green. You can drop it in the trough and you're
guaranteed you're not scoring with
That's it. That's it.
And especially in fours when you throw it out of bounds or in the ditch, then literally 50% of your bowls that end are out of play.
The challenge when you're playing fours is the only thing you learn on a shot like that is that you threw it too hard.
Yeah, what not to do.
You really don't get a good appreciation of your green.
Mm-hmm.
You have no idea how hard you hit the ditch unless you really hear it thump.
In which case I would hope it's intentional.
Yeah, exactly. He's taking weight off on this one, that's for sure. But he's also come narrow.
Yeah, well inside.
You know, you take the same green as you did with the previous shot, which was heavier, and of course, not knowing how it's going to end, it's going to cut across at the same green. That's, you know, had the green been another 20 feet longer, that's where his first ball would have ended up.
Yep. Lyle is just grilling Pat for questions. Where do you want it? Where's the jack? How heavy was I? Wants to know all the variables here before he delivers.
This looks like a fairly nice bowl as well.
Could be in the ballpark.
He is.
Pat's pretty happy with that.
It's a good spot.
Mm-hmm.
Good spot to be in. And in the ladies on green 1, BC has picked up another couple points. 14-5 on the 9th end against Alberta.
And on the rink next door, Ontario is up 7-4 against Alberta B after 8. And right besides that, men's triples, Ontario B is up 10-6 over Manitoba.
And over on green 4, it looks like BC's up on Quebec 11-4 on the 8th. That's the BCB triples. Pat's got a really smooth delivery. He gets down with enough forward momentum that he has to step forward a couple steps.
Mm-hmm. I quite enjoy watching Pat's delivery, though. It looks very
it's
very
excellent,
smooth.
isn't it? Just smooth. Christie's is also smooth, but he's almost stationary when the ball leaves his hand.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Pat's just got just enough forward momentum that it just carries him through. He's got super control on his weight, though.
Yeah, that's great weight.
So Alberta finally picked up a point there. Broke their drought. A little team meeting there at center green.
Mm-hmm.
Some strategizing.
Yeah, just before the halfway point of this game to chat things through.
Which is a good idea to have at the best of times.
Mm-hmm.
It's always good to have a left-hand player in the team, I think. In plant fours. The lefties can make shots that the righties can't get sometimes.
Did you catch the count for that last end? Alberta got.
I didn't. I know that
Alberta got at least one, but I don't know if it was more than one.
I can't quite see the full number. I think it's just the one.
I think it's just the one. We'll go on that presumption for now then.
9-5. Again, another
lengthy one.
Another long jack. Herman's got a great first bowl here. Look at this. Toucher.
That's a beautiful opening bowl.
Rolled through by about 1.5 feet. See if Clement can match it. Clement's been in the game for a long time too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he does. He takes the
Takes
jack
it
to
all the
the
way.
ditch and sits on the trough.
So
Sits just back of the plinth. Great bowl. Great bowl.
now each team has a toucher, so now you're going to have to be really strategic about how you try to get them into the ditch to sit on the jack.
2 touchers on the green. I once witnessed a similar episode like this, where there was 3 bowls thrown and the end was over. A toucher on the green about where Clement's last bowl is. The second toucher took the jack to the ditch and sat almost on top of it. The third bowl came down, knocked the toucher onto the jack, pushed the jack to shot bowl, and the jack rebounded to the bowl which had been sitting on the green. And they're both, all 3 bowls, the jack and the 2 touchers, were against the backboard. 3 bowls thrown, end was over.
That is something else.
Clement's going to try to draw to the ditch. Comes up just a bit short, 5 feet. 5 feet short of the ditch. A good protector for his toucher sitting on the trough. This is interesting. Pat's calling Francis in on his toucher on the green.
Mm-hmm.
Push it towards the jack, and if nothing else, to push the shot bowl, which is a toucher on the green, to push it out of the way. He's not far off. Oh,
just got on the
unfortunately, he knocked the toucher onto the jack.
outside. Yeah, he was hoping for an inside.
Well, BC's guaranteed one bowl on this, one
Yeah.
shot on this one.
Yeah, guaranteed at least 1 point. Although that could still change if they end up knocking in that Alberta bowl to make it closer. That is a toucher.
Now, what would happen? That would only work if the toucher knocked, if Alberta's toucher knocked BC's toucher away from the jack. Is
Right.
that not correct?
Yeah, yeah. Although I guess it could potentially sit on top of the jack and be a little closer. I'm not sure what the separation is between bull and jack in the ditch there, if there is any. But yeah, you can definitely push that toucher into the ditch and it's still alive, so you can maybe have some strategy there to try to...
Because it would only be a toucher in the ditch that could displace a toucher in the ditch.
Yep, yep.
There's only 2 bowls left on the green. Toucher in the ditch and 2 bowls left on the green. Stanley Child's bowl just coming up again, about 5 feet short.
Mm-hmm.
Just about exactly how his previous bowl was.
Just seeing if he can try to draw a second shot there and score a multiple. Now that Lyle's had a good look and he's down at the mat, we'll see if he can bring in Alberta's toucher a little bit closer.
Yeah, there's no reason why Christie couldn't draw in between Alberta's toucher and the ditch to get to sit 2.
Mm-hmm. Interesting comment there from Pat when Lyle just threw his bowl in the ditch. He said, "Good bowl." Didn't hit anything, so I guess he was saying the weight was good. But I can certainly sympathize. Some players find that to be the most frustrating thing in the world when someone says "good bowl" and it's not what you want or it's nowhere near.
Well, sometimes a good bowl is not in the way. And always, it's a heartbreak when you throw a block in on the bowl that you want to hit.
Yep. Exact opposite of what you're trying to do.
Exactly. Stevens trying again to get a draw between the Alberta toucher and the ditch, and he might have it with this one. He might have it.
Just too quick.
No. Looks like British Columbia is still holding strong with the ladies.
Mm-hmm. Looking over the
Ladies fours.
other ladies fours match, I believe Quebec against BC. Quebec has 5. Can't quite see the BC scoreboard there.
Looks like it's 12. 12-4. 12-4 for BCB in the triples. Men's
triples, yeah.
I think Pat is going to try to. Oh, he misses as well. 3 bowls on the green, 1 in the ditch. Christie Graham.
Looks to be well wide and pretty quick.
I think he's going to be in the ditch as well.
Yep. And Pat's through the holes and in the ditch again. So we'll see if Christie can just draw a second shot here. He only has to be within, what, 3-4 feet of the ditch?
That's all.
It's definitely doable, as we've seen it done several ends before, but he's coming up well short on this.
I think he's going to be happy with just the 1.
Just the one for BC to give them into double digits, 10-5. And we're halfway done this game.
And I got a hunch that Clement is thinking, if it works, why change it?
Mm-hmm.
Matt goes in the same spot. I expect to see another deep jack.
I would be surprised if it's anything but.
Yeah. It's a little shorter, probably 2 meters shorter than what he normally bowls.
But sticking to that BC 3/4 length that you said that
Yep.
most people tend to play out here.
Yeah, it seems to be the standard. Well, he certainly knows what he's doing when he puts his jack there.
Yeah, you can say
He
that.
draws
again.
his first bull within probably 6 inches, 8 inches on the weight.
Pretty good opener.
I'd be happy with it.
What position do you play when you play fours?
I usually play skip.
Okay.
Like I said, I'm trying to graduate up to the position of being able to play lead. Clement draws another one in, almost identical.
That's a beautiful bowl there.
Trails the jack, almost identical weight. Yeah, my wife has been bowling lead for the ladies fours for several years. Very steady lead.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's what you need, is someone who's steady.
She's been bowling with Mary Wright for several years now.
That's a good answer there from Herman.
Excellent. Excellent answer. The sit shot.
See what Stanley can do.
He's not far off.
Well, he could be close here.
He's not far off. Shot drawn. Just about. No, he's just a little deep.
Well, that's good for second shot, though.
It looks like second shot. I think BC's got 2 seconds now. 3 seconds. Francis Stanton coming down now. I think he's a little high.
Yeah, that's not terrible weight, but
No, the weight was pretty good. Yeah, swing it over onto the jack and it would have been just about right. Stanley just has to take off a little bit of weight. Very tough to do, just to take off a foot, you know, on that length of jack.
You're really almost doing the exact same thing. You're not changing a whole lot.
Exactly. And he was thinking about taking off weight and he took off too much. And I think it's in Francis's way. He's
Contemplating what to do here.
he's decided he can get around it. It's certainly narrower than the previous bowl.
Mm-hmm.
All in his weight right now. No, he's heavy.
Yeah, well past.
Dropped it into the back.
Best back.
I think Stephen's going to be narrow.
Crashing in front, yeah.
His weight would have been about right on that shot, though. What position do you normally play?
Really depends who I play with. If I play with the young guys that I like to play with, then I'm normally on the front end. Triples and pairs would be lead. Fours depends who we're playing with. Sometimes second, sometimes lead. But if I'm playing with usually, I don't know, family members or local club members, then I'll switch to the back end and usually take over at skip. Mostly just because a lot of players don't like to play skip for whatever reason. I don't mind playing any position, really. It doesn't matter to me. But for whatever reason, some folks just like to play lead. They don't like having that pressure, you know, where you have to make the shot when you're skip.
Oh, it looks like Lyle just pushed second shot out. Might be sitting second. Yeah, I'd like to bowl more in the front end.
I definitely enjoy it. For the longest time growing up, I used to hate it, but now that I've experienced everything that I have experienced, I'm very happy to be in the front end and making my contribution there.
If you've got a good front end, it's great pulling skip.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. I like to make things easy for my skip.
If your front end is having a bad day, it's tough pulling skip sometimes.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, that's when you learn that there's only one letter difference between champ and chimp.
But I do have to say there aren't many fours tournaments in Ontario. They have a few at the start of the year to get people ready for the playdowns, but after that they just disappear. So if you don't play fours at start of May, then you basically don't play for the whole year.
I think it's probably because the younger bowlers have a hard time keeping their mind in the game when they've only got 2 bowls and there's 7 other bowlers between them and their next opportunity to bowl again.
Yep. There's a lot of downtime between throwing bowls.
And I find that that's even prevalent with a lot of the older bowlers too. They just throw 2 bowls and then nothing happens for such a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And it's different for a skip because the skip's in it full time, right? He's watching every bowl coming in.
Mm-hmm.
But I've typically bowled the back end when in fours, either third or skip. Most of the time skip. But even when I'm bowling third, I'm in the head with the skip. Christy Graham's throwing down a little bit of weight. And he gets the jack. He burns it. He's got a lovely weighted shot.
Mm-hmm.
He seldom misses. By seldom, even if you get it every second shot, only half of those at best turn out in your favor.
Right, that's right. When I went to Australia and I practiced for a week at Broad Beach Club before the World Youth Championship started, I can't remember the woman's name, but she might have been a friend of Priscilla's. I think she's from Papua New Guinea, maybe? I'm not sure. But she was a international champion and had won quite a few things around the world in women's singles, women's pairs, and whatnot. So she had us doing a few drills, and one of the drills she had us doing was putting the mat at the tee, jack at the hog line, and trailing it into the ditch the entire length, which at first sounds really bizarre, but when you're on really true greens and they're quick, and it actually doesn't take that much practice to be able to do it pretty consistently. And after doing that for about half an hour, 45 minutes, I found that 9 times out of 10 I could trail it right from the hog line to the ditch and be within a few feet of it in the ditch, which sounds like the most bizarre way to play a game, but that's how she won a lot of her titles. And it's frustrating to play against too, because what do you do when someone's trailing it from the hog line to the ditch and sitting on it? That's
takes a lot of concentration.
Kind of takes a lot of
Oh,
guts to do too, because if you miss, you just threw your bull in the ditch and the jack's at the hog line. Like, what are you doing?
That's it. Well, here we have a different length.
Oh, we're finally playing a short one.
Yeah. Herman threw the jack and played a short one. And Clement drew up a little short, but not that bad. It's only like a meter short. That's the first variation in jack length that we've really had of, you know, anything substantial.
They've been playing a whole lot of longer ends, so we'll see how they can adjust their weight after spending the last, I don't know how many ends.
Yeah, this is
much longer.
What end are we on here? It's got to be in the order of 9 or 10.
Yeah, we're playing 10.
And they've had a couple burnt ends, so. Clement makes a really good adjustment here.
Oh, that's a beautiful
Puts
bull
his
there.
second bull on the jack. Herman's first bull went out of bounds. Better line on his second bull. How's his weight?
Swinging around up back. Might be a receiver.
Really? Yeah, that's probably about 4 meters back.
Just had Daryl give me a text wanting us to talk about respot versus non-respot. Are you a fan of the respot rule, or would you prefer to be able to kill ends?
It's a good question. I think I think I'd prefer to kill the end, personally.
I think I would too. I think respot could be incredibly useful for playing in club tournaments or local things to try to keep things quick and speedy, and you know when you're going to be done. But
well, a good drive is a very skillful shot, and if you need it and you can do it, then why should you be penalized because you don't have something on the 2 meter mark, right? And it could be just an ad hoc bull that managed to hold the 2 meter mark.
Yeah, that's right.
That way, if you kill it, it's a good shot. If you got to kill it, and you kill it.
Yeah, that's what you were trying to do, and you did it.
That's right. So. You know, you're down 2 or 3, but the whole back end is covered off. You know, you kill the bull, you make your shot, you kill the end, and then you go down 3.
Yeah, which is just an incredibly frustrating situation to be in.
You got to play a whole different strategy when you put a 2 meter mark on. And you. There's a good bull. It's covering off the back now because the shot bull is not all that far. If there was a heavy hit on it, it could easily drive the jack back.
I just got a text from Cam LaFrenz, the reigning under 25 champion. Just crowned that last week. He's watching in on the stream apparently, and he says he absolutely hates the respot. It seems like a wasted bowl to have to put one back on the 2 meter mark when you're playing a short jack.
Yep, I got to agree with him. Got to agree with him. It's a whole different strategy of play.
It is.
But like he says, it's a wasted bowl. Oh, look at this. I do believe he did it.
Yeah.
Very nice.
And Lyle's asking, where did that come from?
Lyle Adams pulls in, shot bull for an ESPN moment. Not only that, we got it on tape to prove he did it. Just a terrific shot by Lyle Adams there. Drew shot and probably within couple or 3 inches at the most.
Mm-hmm.
And Stephen couldn't get through. It's only one. Well, Pat's looking at it. Calling him in for a catcher. So I got a hunch that these... He wants Lyle to play a position ball. Only wants him about a foot behind the jack, off to the left-hand side. Oh, and he just about does it.
Wow.
Good position ball.
Wow.
He was only about a foot narrower than what Pat wanted. Perfect weight though.
Do you think playing 3 games in a day is going to be too much?
Pardon me?
Do you think playing 3 games in a day is going to be too much?
It's going to be a long day for the people. But, you know, at this level of play, it's done quite often.
Mm-hmm.
In Arizona, it's they play 3 games a day, except the games are about an hour longer because of how fast the green is.
Right.
So it's not unusual for them to be bowling 9, 10, 11 hours in a day.
Mm-hmm. Definitely tests your endurance.
It is. Pat's got an interesting bowl here. Ooh.
I guess it was questionable before, but now Lyle's saying I'll be...
Oh, he
BC.
just tipped BC's bowl in for shot. We're talking only a half an inch or so. And that was enough to give BC the shot. Not also sure I understood why he came in on that hand.
Mm-hmm. Definitely looking to change things up here now.
He's coming in the same hand. I think he's hoping to hit BC to push the jack back to Lyle. And he does it! Yes, he does it. A terrific bowl. A little bit narrow, but took the rub.
Yeah, a little fortuitous, kissing off the short ball there.
Yeah. Alberta picks up one on a nice rub. Terrific rub. Made Lyle happy.
That's twice in the same end he's been happy.
Happy when he made it, sad when it got taken away, and happy when it was replaced. At the end of the day, it was Lyle's bowl. It was point.
Yep, yeah.
Well, they've changed the momentum of the game here, playing a shorter jack.
Mm-hmm. Seeing if they can get things in their favor.
See how Herman is on putting his first bowl on. I think he's still got the muscle memory of a little bit longer bowl.
Yeah, just
Not
a little
bad.
bit. Not terrible.
He's within a meter
Mm-hmm.
on his depth, and probably 600 mils on his width. And Clement is in there like a dirty shirt. Look at that. Shot ball. Still left a little bit of room though.
Yeah, it is still very drawable.
Yeah, he's mat length in front. Herman stays with the same hand, which is what you'd expect.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's going to be on. No, he came inside.
So assuming we've been keeping score correctly this whole time, it's 10-6 for British Columbia A over Alberta A. Both of these teams do have B teams in the fours.
That didn't quite work the way Clement wanted it. He knocked the jack back, but I'd say it's perhaps a measure for shot.
Mm-hmm.
Being way off to the side, there's lots of room to make it around.
Oh, is there ever. There is plenty of room to draw in there. Pick a hand and just get close.
Yep. So one thing you notice at this level of play is that everybody's got a nice delivery. Unless you've really got a handicap like Lyle.
Yeah, yeah.
But you know, he's overcome the challenges that he's got physically to place the ball in there all the time.
And we were talking about how the greenskeeper's been working on building up some durability in the greens here as they're going to be put to the test over the course of a week, but I don't think they're going to need to worry too much about anybody dumping bowls or making divots or anything like that.
No, that's for sure. You know, it just really strikes a balance. You know, how much do you water them? Here with it, you know, the watering does slow down the green pretty quickly here.
Yep, yep. Yesterday we took a trip to the Hatley Castle just to tour that out and check it out, and it was really interesting to see where they stopped watering the grass, and it went from green to yellow in just like a straight line.
Yep.
Which was just really interesting to see where they drew the line that that's it, we're cutting off water.
Yeah, we had rain right up until June 18th, and didn't have rain until, was it Sunday night, or Saturday night. First rain we had since June 18th.
Holy smokes.
It was one of the wettest springs we've had, and it was one of
the driest summers?
Driest summers.
I think it's one of the wettest springs and summers that we had up in Ottawa. It's just been nothing but rain. I think Lyle's coming up well short on this.
Yeah. And very short.
Mm-hmm.
Now Stephen should be able to draw right through there onto the jack, which he does.
Close.
Look at this beautiful ball coming in
close.
here. That's
Number
shot.
one.
That's shot.
And the flop. But that makes a nice little sort of target line there for Lyle. Just has to follow that down. You saw exactly what he did.
That's it.
And he could be in the neighborhood.
He is close.
A little quick, I think.
Just a little heavy.
A little spicy.
Stephen Young again. A little bit of a flick in his delivery there.
Mm-hmm.
Which, yeah, I don't think he was happy with that. Came up narrow.
No. Weight's in the ballpark, though.
Weight wasn't bad.
That's half the battle.
Weight wasn't bad. And how's the BC girls doing over there on green 1?
There's someone, Glenn Taylor's right in front of the scoreboard, so I can't quite see what their score is. There's someone in front of almost every scoreboard. I can see women's 4s 16-5 for BCB over Quebec. And I can't really see any of the scoreboards as there's so many people standing directly in front of them. It's one thing we're going to have to someday invest in, is get some massive scoreboards that are high enough that people can't just block it out by standing in front of it.
You almost need a digital one, though.
Yeah. Use some LED lights so that they really show up at night.
And oh,
Christie's just crashing in front.
lots of obstacles there for Pat to come through.
Yeah, I was going to say, this is a very loose head here. Changing it up to a medium short length here has putting everybody out to lunch.
Everybody's searching now. They're on the hunt. On the hunt for the elusive jack. Pat's got a nice line on this, but is his weight there?
It should be good
He
for
did it.
one.
He did it. He brings it up for one. Chris Graham's got a draw within probably about 1.5 feet. It's coming through the hole. He got a good adjustment on his. No, he didn't. He
No,
came up
he's
narrow.
inside.
Came up narrow. Weight wasn't too bad, but one for Alberta. They're creeping up.
That makes it 10-7.
BC girls are up on Alberta 16-8 on the 12th end. BCA on Alberta A, ladies fours.
So 11 ends down, 7 to go. It's interesting to see how different the scoreboards look here after watching that high-scoring triples game last match that went to 23-24. For a final, we're only at 10-7 and we're over halfway done.
Well, they're keeping it at a shorter jack. Putting the mat in the same position, but just shortening up the jack.
Well, it's been working for them the past few ends.
Now, if it works, don't fix it. It's going to be really key if he can put his first ball on the jack. And he's not far off. A little short, maybe about 1 meter short. See how Clement is adjusted to it. Lays it down nicely.
He gets
Looks
down
like he's
nice
got
and
good
low.
weight. He's got excellent weight.
Yep.
Could be a measure. Lyle says Alberta's holding. And I think Kerman's coming up short here.
Yep, well short there. See if Clement needs to switch hands. No, he's still sticking with it. He can draw inside or outside.
He's adjusted his green nicely. It's all in his weight now.
Yeah, he's just inside, and that's a pretty good bowl.
Ooh.
Just through.
How's that saying go? He was close when he went by it. Only half an inch away when he went by it. Francis has been really good at bringing up that pressure bowl. I think first one on the jack is going to carry this end.
It very well might. Very well may.
Really nothing within mat length yet.
No, not yet. And sometimes there never is, which is
That's true.
frustrating for all players involved to...
Quite often that's when the big heads come too. Big ends.
Big ends, yeah.
Stanley's got nice weight here by the looks of it. Yep.
Yep, that's a pretty good bowl there.
He's through by about 4 feet, I think. Perfect line though. Can Francis make the right adjustment? He was through by about 4 meters on his first bowl. Got to really ease it up.
It's really difficult to make that adjustment off one bowl when you're that far heavy, because you don't want to come up 4 meters short either.
Picks up a wick.
There's a redirection onto the jack, and it'll flop down for one.
That's right. Just an attitude adjustment. So they're sitting at least one right now.
At least one right now.
Alberta. Stanley's got another shot at it. Let's see if he can make the right adjustment. And I believe he's just switched hands too. He's going with his backhand. I think he's going to be a little bit spicy unless he picks up the jack, which he's not.
He's got a whole lot of extra weight on that.
Well, no lack of back bowls for British Columbia. Let's hope they can use them. Awfully deep.
We'll see what Lyle can do here with his first bowl, if he can keep adding to the count and keep that Alberta streak going here of counting a few ends back to back.
There's lots of room to make it in, all in his weight. He's not far off. Could be a little tight.
But that could
But
be
he's,
shot.
yeah, that's right. He's
Number
rested
one.
shot bowl. Stephen doesn't take much time on the mat either.
No, he's pretty quick.
He's also tight. He's gonna push Francis's bowl back again. It's been taking a beating this end. I don't think that's much different than his first bowl. It's actually a little bit tighter by the looks of it.
Yeah, a little bit tighter yet, but he still has that weight. Just
Weight was perfect.
can't get that line out wide enough yet. We were talking about fast players here. When I was at the juniors last week, I might have encountered one of the fastest singles game I've ever seen between, I think, Luke Caldwell from Ontario and Braden Campbell from Nova Scotia in the under 25s. They played a game 21-20, mostly ones and twos, so there weren't a whole lot of big ends. That were tight games back and forth. They finished it in less than 45 minutes.
What?
At 21-20, and I was blown away by that because they had a bit of a rain delay, so they got called off for 10 minutes. So I guess really it was 55 minutes if you count the 10-minute rain delay. But yeah, they were quick on the mat. And they were talking back and forth and joking with each other throughout the whole game. But that was one of the fastest singles matches I've ever seen.
Well, you know, when you think about it, you know, when a hockey player is making a slap shot, he doesn't have much time to think about it. He's just bang.
Yeah, just
he sees it and does it.
Well, that's exactly what they were doing. They just got on the mat, knew what shot they wanted to play, and bang.
Yep. It shouldn't be much different in lawn bowls. Like Christy Graham, he sees it, gets on the mat,
Does it.
does it. Sees the line, pops it down the line.
Bit of a redirection there, just not quite enough.
Yeah. I think he's still getting used to these bowls too.
Yeah, every time you switch to a different set of bowls, if it's not the exact same model, then it can take some getting used to because you're going to be taking different lines or different finishing hook.
Well, particularly the different size, because the anatomy of your hand, you know, the anatomy of your grip changes, so it changes your wrist. So until you learn how the bowl is going to respond with your particular grip, you're at a bit of a disadvantage for muscle memory. I think this is a pretty good adjustment coming in here. No, he's not. He's not breaking.
Well wide. Just needed to be inside those.
Now they're on the... They've lost about 3 straight ends, or 4 straight ends, I think.
So they've taken out one and going to get down to measure the rest.
Yeah, they haven't made a point for a few ends now.
It's been a while. But yet, because it's only ever been one, it's still a tight
And
game.
he got one again. Oh, he's got 2. Alberta just picked up 2. That gap should be closing quite a bit now.
Yeah, 10-9 now. Six ends to go.
Looks like 9. Yeah. 9-10.
Yeah.
Yeah, that extra 2 points put Alberta A at 9, BCA at 10. And another short jack.
Mm-hmm.
It makes you think that Alberta may have found a strategy here that's working. I got a hunch that's what the huddle was about.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if that's what they were talking about. How are they going to change up the length to get in their favor? And this has clearly been working for them the past 4 or 5 ends.
It's interesting how they've kept the mat at the same position.
Mm-hmm. I'll be curious to see how they adjust if and when BC gets the jack back and they stretch it back out to the fuller length.
I got a hunch we're going to see either really short or really long from here on.
Yep. Yeah, I would assume so.
We'll find out what the guys have been practicing.
Stick to what you know. And that's a great opening bowl there from Clement.
Super. He's really good at reading the green. Really good. You know, he knows his line for whatever length the jack is at.
Herman is just struggling to get his weight in line here. He's
It just shows you the importance of being able to put your first bowl on the jack. If you're going to throw the jack, you got to put your first bowl on the jack.
Mm-hmm.
And Clement seems to be able to put his first bowl wherever the jack is. Whether he threw it or not, he's right in there.
Certainly found the line, as both of his bowls are back to the center line.
Yeah, Francis lays it down very nicely.
He's looking to pick up the slack.
Coming up with a pressure shot, and he does it.
Great shot there.
Picks up shot bowl. See how Stanley adapts to the shorter jack. This is substantially shorter than what they had previously.
Mm-hmm.
We've got probably only about, looks like about a 23 meter jack.
And just outside and around.
Good line.
Mm-hmm. Very good line.
Francis got another nice one in here. Lovely weight. Really good weight.
Mm-hmm.
Well, see how Stanley's adjustment is. Just a little bit of a balk at that delivery.
It's great to see that there aren't any short bowls. I know sometimes when it's a short end, people overcompensate.
Look at this. Look at this. Stanley makes a beautiful shot, knocking Francis's bowl back to sit 2. Nice refocus there for Stanley. Very nice refocus. He had to take that step back and just start over again. He did a good job of it.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes that's what you got to do, you know. Just
yep. Step back and refocus.
Yep. Regroup.
I noticed that on Sunday night, I think it was the tennis match with that young Canadian kid.
Oh, Dennis.
And
Shapovalov.
yeah, whenever he gets into his pre-routine, he dribbles it twice between his legs and then bounces it 4 times and then serves.
Yep.
But whenever he messed that up, whether the ball got away from him or something else, if it wasn't perfectly in that order, he'd fault on his serve. And I started to really catch on to that, and it just shows how much that pre-delivery or pre-routine really makes a difference. If you're not doing it exactly the same all the time, something can be just a little bit off, and your whole delivery is just out the window.
It's really something to see the young fellas putting the old guard down on in tennis this year. Zverev beating Federer, and Dennis beating what's his name? Nader?
Tall, yeah. Sort of the changing of the guard, I guess you could call it.
It is. Apparently the last time that somebody as young as Zverev won was Djokovic. Apparently Djokovic took it when he was 20 years old as well.
Several years ago.
Pardon me?
Several years ago.
Several years ago. They probably had the same challenge getting the young players in. You know, to that caliber of play.
Right, yeah.
But they're bringing in a whole new energy. Either that or the old guys are just losing their energy.
Might be a combination of both.
It could be a combination of both, yeah. Nadal has got an interesting pre-delivery routine.
It's interesting to see how almost any sport there is some sort of a pre-delivery routine to some extent somewhere. For basketball, it's when you're shooting a free throw. They so many dribbles or do this, that, or the other, and for bowls, it's the same thing. Whether you do any sort of practice swings or if you just get up on the mat and roll it.
Yeah, when you watch Christy Graham, it doesn't look like he's got any pre-delivery routine at all. You know, but I think he sees it mentally. He visualizes it.
Well, maybe that is his pre-delivery routine, is the fact that there is no.
That's right.
No routine.
Pat Bird's delivery is just beautiful, isn't it? Just steps up and lays it down. So smooth.
Just through. I believe it's still BC holding 1.
This could be the break that BC needs to reset the game.
Christie's going to see if he can add another, but I think he's wide. He didn't like that. As soon as I came out of his hand, he said nope.
Yeah, quite often on his gimmies, he's holding back a bit.
That can be the trickiest shot sometimes when you're holding shot and you have a gimme.
Yeah, when your gimme becomes a give you. You end up beating yourself up for it for the rest of the game.
So that was just in fact 1 for BC to get them back into the scoring column for the first time in a little while.
So we should be sitting at about 11-9 at this point.
Yep. 13 ends in the book.
I think Stanley's at a severe disadvantage because there's no smoking in the park. So he's probably
itching to go out and have a puff.
Yeah, here comes the long jacks. We shall go back to setting it a little deeper than normal.
Yeah, that is back to that
yeah, 3/4.
3/4 length.
Maybe just a little bit beyond 3/4. Now, after bowling the last 5 ends at minimum length, we'll see if we can get on the jack. First bowl. Nice controlled delivery with Clement.
It can be really tricky to make that adjustment and to get your weight just perfect. And I think that's a pretty good opening bowl there from Clement. Holy
Isn't that
smokes.
great? He's just bowled 4 5 ends short jacks and puts his first bowl long jack on. See if Herman can adjust as well. Not a bad looking bowl.
No, this looks like this could be in the neighborhood.
It's
Just needs to come
it's
down the
looking
hill.
at it.
Down the hill, not quite.
He's probably about could be as much as 2 meters back. Hard to say from this perspective. Clement stays nice and low with that bowl coming out of his hand.
Mm-hmm. And that's what you need to do. You need to get low and stay low.
He came up about a meter short, meter and a half. Herman's last bowl at it. This might be better weight. He's got a good road. Might just be resting something here. Yeah.
And just crashing in front.
Yeah, it would have been perfect weight though had he not hit Clement's last bowl. Stanley's second bowl goes sailing through. On the green, but probably about 3 meters back.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
How's the view on the other camera?
Well, as soon as he delivers this ball here, we'll be able to flip back, and you can see now that only Pat's standing in the head there that all the balls are getting pretty close to that center line, but it's just the weight is a little sporadic. As Francis came up well short there on his first attempt.
See if Stanley can make the right adjustment here. Weight looks better.
Yeah, that's definitely in the ballpark. That's a pretty good bowl there, and you can hear Clements
Perfect
clapping
weight.
that before it came to a stop, saying this is going to be good.
Perfect weight. I think Clement's bowl is still in the shot position. He's going to push up his own bowl. Yep.
Yeah, not quite enough, but that almost worked.
I got it out of the way. Both sides are open now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Stevens taking advantage of the forehand opening.
Just around.
Just the weight.
Lyle's taking one last look at it before he makes his walk back to the mat. A few words with Pat about where you want it.
And the nice thing about being able to be in the head is you can see your shot before you go down. At least you get some good information on your first bowl. Normally the head doesn't change all that much. I know that when I play third, I really like being in the head. I like to have my third in the head with me too.
I wouldn't be surprised if they do end up sticking with that time limit next year of 2 hours and 45 minutes, that they put in a clause saying that vices can't stand down at the head with the skip, because that does make a difference in how fast a game can go. And I'm sure a lot of people wouldn't like it if that clause does come into play, but that is one way to try to force the games to go by quicker.
Yeah, I can see that.
This is
Lyle just made a beautiful shot, took Clement out.
We'll see if Steven can put it back.
I believe that Lyle's last bowl is sitting shot, and he didn't want to hit that one.
Nope.
So Lyle should be sitting shot right now. Question is, can he do it again without... He's going to change his hand. Coming in on his backhand. No, he's...
No. Thinking
No,
about it.
he's changed. He's going to go back to his forehand. He's got a nice bowl here. All in his weight.
Just inside. Just
Ooh.
needed to get inside that.
Just collided. Okay, over on green 1. BCA against Alberta A, 1911, 14th end. It looks like Ann Matthews' bowl is sitting shot right now for BC.
And
4
then-
bowls yet to come on that particular end.
And then on the rink beside that, Ontario's up 10-8 over Alberta B, also in women's fours.
Over on green 4, 16-8 for BC B over Quebec.
Men's triples or men's fours?
There's 2 ends left to go on that one.
Men's triples, I believe.
No, that's grapefruit juice, right?
And Pat's taking a good look at this as to what he wants to do and lining it up right. I wonder if he's going to be throwing a little bit of weight into this. It's a little aggressive. Definitely not short. I
No,
think
he's not short.
wide and around.
I don't think he wanted to do that.
Not many people are voluntarily throwing their bowl in the ditch. I don't think that affected anything, really. Didn't change the head too much there with Christie's last bowl.
How's his line look?
A little double whammy, and look at that roll back towards the jack. That's an interesting finish. Pat shouting down saying, feel free to wedge that. Keep it up.
Well, he's in on a measure.
Mm-hmm.
Look at that. I think he bullied his way in for shot.
Yeah, 1 for Alberta. Make it 11-10 after 14.
Well, they didn't allow the long jack to interrupt their progress.
Well, they can feel the momentum coming their way, so they'll keep on trucking. 4 ends left to go.
Shall we take bets whether or not it's a short jack or a long jack?
Well, Pat's coming down to have a word with the lads, so maybe he is thinking about changing it up to something different from a short jack. Or maybe he's thinking about moving the mat up a little bit, because that could also play a factor.
Yeah, it's interesting. He's just going down talking with the front end.
Mm-hmm.
In the meantime, Lowell's going to come back and distract Christie. There's a method in the madness here.
Yeah, yeah. And they are moving the mat up a little bit. Not a whole lot, but...
Yes, we shall distract Christie.
Yeah, yeah, that's the game plan.
Well, it's a different length again. This is probably about a 2/3 length jack.
we'll see if Herman can put his first one close, and he's in the ballpark, just a little quick. His line is accurate.
You know, when you're at that point of accomplishment in bowling, that you can put your bowls where you want them to be, it's really important that you can also put the jack where you want it to be. When the skip is playing a strategic game, everybody has to be competent in putting all of their bowls, including the jack, where the skip calls it in. After all, as they say in the club, that's why the skip gets the big bucks.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Throwing the jack is the one skill that I've always just naturally had and never had to practice. I feel like I've always been able to put it exactly where I want it without having to really worry too much about getting out and practicing, although I'm sure after having not really played for 2 years, that's probably changed by now. But
yeah.
It is a skill to have, and it's a necessity to be able to put it exactly where you want it.
Well, it's even more so. It's to have the attitude to put it exactly where the skip wants it. You know, you might decide you want it somewhere else, but you've got to also have that obedience to put it where the skip wants it to be. So there's a competence and a humility that goes along with it. You can either do what you want to do, or you can do what the skip wants you to do. And if you do what you want to do, you better be able to put your bowl on it.
Yeah, that's right. You better be able to. Now with the transition from last end being relatively long to this one being a bit shorter, we're starting to see that bit more of a looser end again as the players are struggling to get the weight just perfect.
Everybody's in the hunt now. It's a length they haven't thrown. And once again, the person who gets a point is going to be the first one who gets on the jack. And Stanley looks like he's got a good weight here. Well, he's behind too.
Yeah, he's sailing through. That might be
5
number
feet.
1.
That's shot, but not a great shot.
Definitely not something I'd be bragging about.
You don't quite need a garden hose, but
half of one anyway.
Half of one. Not a bad bowl for Francis. Francis' bowl is at least in a measure. Lots of bowls yet to come. Good adjustment here for Stanley.
And that's back into the mix with the others.
Good adjustment on the line anyway. Weight was still off, but line was good.
Can't really be too upset if you're the Vices when you get to the mat here, though, because it's a wide open draw. You're not really in any trouble or danger yet, so now it's up to you to be able to prove that you can still draw.
That's right.
I would probably be pretty happy at this point if I saw that, because I'd feel pretty confident that I can get one closer.
Oh, Lyle's got a good one here.
Just through.
It's through too by about 4 feet.
They just really keep running there. That must be on a bit of a brown spot or something. I'm not sure.
Yeah, that brown spot is going to be running a little bit faster than. Yeah, you can see it kind of speed up as it goes through it.
That might be the new shot, though. That's got good weight.
Might be the new shot.
Starting to see a lot of people flocking off the greens here as a lot of the games are finishing up. There we go. Now we've got one on the jack.
Lyle makes a terrific adjustment. Well, cuts down the freeboard for for Steven.
Mm-hmm.
He's got to draw within plus or minus a foot now. I think he's a little heavy, unless he picks up the jack.
Yeah, unless he gets the jack with him, I think you're right. That's
Or he lands on shot bull. He just missed it.
just through. Pretty evenly matched at the back there, though. I don't really see any pockets forming. There might be a bit of a BC pocket on the left and an Alberta on the right, but where the jack and Lyle's shot are positioned, I don't think the jack's going to be going back there intentionally.
Well, certainly the propensity would be to head over to the right side. I think typically everybody's going to come in on the right side of the jack, or on the left side of the jack, which would take it over to the right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Pat's playing his backhand. He picks up the jack and pulls it over. Picks up a 4-ender. It would be a nice benefit for Alberta.
That's a pretty good shot drawn there.
Good for 2. Good for 2. Christie's got to be in there now. Well, he's got a chance here. He's got a chance.
Yeah, you're definitely close. That
He is close.
Just through. I thought he was going to pick up the jack on his way
Well,
through.
he knocked shot bull out. It's
I think that,
measure at the worst.
yeah, it might be a measure there. Lyle's taking a look, and he's calling in Herman to use younger
Yeah.
eyes. He's saying it's 1 for BC.
He says Christie's got it. His eye.
Pat's saying, do you want me to
Pat's
draw it off,
contemplating
or-
changing hands.
Might be a little bit of a more aggressive shot here.
No, he's staying with his backhand. He's trying for a straight draw. Or pushing his own. He
Oh-hoo.
just about did
Not
it.
quite.
Just about got an attitude adjustment. Christie has a chance to pick up 2 points here. If he can do the same shot again. His bowl's down, the mat's picked up. No time wasted.
And look at
And
that.
he kicks the jack back.
And I think that might be 2 bulls resting on the jack. But you're going to
I
need to
think
call.
he squeezed it.
Going to need to call an umpire over to
Yep.
see who's slightly more on it.
That is going to be tough to call. I got a hunch we'll see the umpire coming on here.
I would expect so.
Just came in a little heavy.
I would expect to see the feeler gauges coming out to see if you can fit any
Yeah.
between bull and jack.
Took it from 1 up to potentially 1 down.
Mm-hmm. Not a whole lot of massive point swings either way, though. This has been a game of a lot of ones.
A lot of ones. Well matched.
And they're
How's it,
kicking.
Larry?
They're kicking them in. I guess they've decided. I'm not sure who got that.
You want it by 1?
We're gonna
Well
have to see who takes the mat to get the 1. And I guess Herman's picking up the jack, so that was 1 for Alberta. That's
I just got word from one of the bowlers from BCB team that they won that game by 1 point for the BCB triples, men's triples.
there you go.
As that game's behind them.
3 ends left to go in this one, as we've got a tie game all tied up at 11. And I'm quite shocked that they didn't call an umpire to get the feeler gauges out there. It must have been obvious there's a crack between one of the bulls and the jack that you could see some grass through.
So lovely trail, but it was just a little bit too far
Mm-hmm.
from 1 up to 1 down. Christie's looking at the length.
I think this will be good, but they were going
I
to call an
can-
umpire to.
It looks like it's good to me, but they're going to call for a long measure.
You see the jack's way far up there. You can only just see it on the other camera length, but you see how far the mat's up here.
That looks like it's up about 8 feet in front of the mat. The jack looks like it's back about 8.5 feet.
Yeah.
Short jacking.
I think we have one umpire there waiting for the other to bring the long tape measure.
So we see an umpire calling an umpire.
Yep, yep. That can sometimes be the challenge here, is when more than one green calls for an umpire, you're going to have to sort of wait your turn for a few to become available. It's also difficult to hear them when you're shouting four decks over as well. It's a pretty large facility here if you've never been to the Juan de Fuca Lawn Bowling Club. All 4 decks are, if I'm not mistaken, a legacy from the Commonwealth Games way back in the day.
That's correct. I believe it was 80. Was it 86?
For some reason I want to say that 86 was the one that was in Edmonton.
Was that Edmonton?
So maybe 82? 92?
92.
92?
Would have been 92. But it's a great facility for the city.
Absolutely.
Victoria.
You can come here and do it all.
Very well supported by the city as well. All of the clubs support this facility quite a bit.
Mm-hmm. I know if I lived here, I would be down here probably every day doing something different, whether it's bowls or golf or baseball, tennis, swimming, hockey,
Lacrosse,
Yep. Something for everyone here, just about.
baseball,
Yeah, that too.
soccer.
Yeah, I saw the soccer pitch over there.
I don't think there's many sports that they don't have here.
Yeah, really. I'm quite surprised that the parking lots aren't fuller, to be honest.
And it's one of the few facilities that's got a park that's big enough to host a lot of the large music venues as well.
Mm-hmm. I've heard there's quite a few concerts here. And that is...
Oh, it is close. It is close.
Just looking for the number. And I think it's fine.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, it's good.
By about half a foot.
Half a small foot.
It's 150 mils to the good.
So now that we have determined this is a legal jack to play, Herman's going to start us off with this shortest jack yet.
And he starts it out with a good bowl.
That is a beautiful start.
He's less than mat length behind, so excellent way to start it.
Tied up at 11 here with 3 ends to go.
Anybody's game.
And I would have to think that the goal here might be to win 2 out of the next 3 ends. If you can win 2/3, you're probably going to get the game.
Ooh. Clement goes through by just about 2 feet. Could be just a little over 2 feet through.
Mm-hmm.
That was perfect except for the adjustment there. See how Clement's touch is. I think he's got a nice finesse on this one.
Mm-hmm.
Nice weight. Just a little bit to the high side. Francis has still got an open jack. He can pull his bowl right in. Looks like nice weight. I think he's going to like this one.
Yeah, this looks like this is going to be shot itself.
It's shot.
Beautiful.
Lovely bowl. Lovely bowl. I got a hunch that little conference at Mid Green was to play short jacks.
Yeah, I think so.
Tighten it up. We got him on the run. We'll see.
Quite the clawback from this Alberta crew. I don't know this for certain, but it feels like they've counted more ends of ones just because there's been so many lately.
Yes. they're playing a strategic game,
Mm-hmm.
and it looks to me like the whole team is in on making that decision, so they've all got ownership of it.
And I'm sure they're all pretty pleased with it so far here as Francis draws in a second one there to put a little more pressure.
Seems to be a lot of intentionality on part of Alberta A.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit of weight coming down. Oh, lovely. Lovely. What a shot for Stanley.
Bing, bang, boom.
Yeah. Lovely skip shot coming out of the second.
Mm-hmm.
Drives first away, picks up the jack, trails it into the back. Pretty much buried there too. It's going to be tough for
Yeah, that's going
Lyle
to be
to get
very
in.
difficult to get in there. He might need to clear some rubbish out front first.
Move some furniture. Rearrange furniture. Puts the hat to the back. I think he's taking after Dennis. Is he going to get around Francis in the front? He is.
He is, but with that kind of weight, he just went sailing through.
Just sailing through. And Christie's calling Stephen to bring up the two bowls on the right-hand side. Just has to make contact with him, which he's going to do by the looks of it. He's got one of them up.
Got one and another, but not quite into the head to really do much.
Didn't hit it square. He did leave his bowl in the path, so it's not likely that anybody's going to try coming that way on the opposition. Lyle's second bowl now.
Yeah, I think he's trying to play weight through to push the bowl.
He's going after shot bowl, and he's got it.
Got her. Great shot.
Real good shot. He'll be happy with that.
Mm-hmm.
It gives his head a shake. He's happy with that bowl. And Stephen
Just outside.
is outside. He pushed one of his own bowls up a bit. I don't know if it's close enough to be in the measure. Pat's sure having a second look at it. I think he's favoring his own. Christie's having a look at it. Pat's head, but Christie's going to have a look at it anyway.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, when he's walking away from the head, I'm sure he's not too upset that someone else is going to be in there taking a look.
Geez, I like the way he lays his bowl down.
He's the inside
Oh,
rub, and he
look at
gets
this.
it.
Look
And
at
he gets
this.
it. That should be at least 2 for Alberta right now, I think.
I think so. He squeezed in there so nicely.
Now that's going to be really tricky for Christie to get in there. As I can see a port up the middle, but you'd need to be playing weight to keep your line through that port.
Well, it looks like BC's got the back bowl.
That's true. That's true.
No, there's one very deep. That's Alberta. Way back there. He's just putting draw weight in. I think he's trying to advance Stevens' bowl on the high side. Got a piece of it, but not enough.
Not quite enough. And Pat's coming down here and thinking, you know, what should we be doing to protect here? If we could score 2, it would be a real feather in the cap.
I think he's going to try to put another one in. If anybody can do it, it's Pat.
Mm-hmm.
He's got to get around Francis. He does. He's. Oh,
not
that was
quite.
so close. Had he not hit Francis, it would have been right on.
But that could really make things messy here for Christie now, as
It
he
does.
ruled Francis over. I'm not sure what Christie's going to do here.
It's 1 and a measure down. And Clement says it's 2 down.
Yeah, 2 down in a measure.
I think he's a little hot.
Yeah, I think he's a little high.
A little high, a little hot.
So that's 2 they kicked out right away. And they're going to get down and measure.
It's always dangerous when you take your own balls out of the head.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they should have let Stephen take him out.
Yep. Yeah, that is the just 1.
Just 1. I guess they were taking the balls out that weren't in the count. But even that, you know, you could say, gee, I thought that was second shot.
Oh, it was 3. So they won the measure.
3.
1 on top of the measure.
Okay.
Or 2, and then the measure is 3.
That could be the turnaround in this game.
That very well could be.
It's pretty late in the game to pick up a 3.
It is. That's the first time in a while that we've had a multiple, and
I don't think we've had one as high as 3 on this game.
I don't remember there being one as high as 3. But even if there has been, with only up and back to go, now is definitely the time that you would have wanted to get it if you're Alberta.
Now's the time for Alberta to play like they're down.
Mm-hmm. Can't get complacent.
And BC's got to play like they are down, which they are. Look at this. Nice start.
Herman is really coming alive here. Last couple ends he strung together a few good lead bowls.
He's figured out his weight now. Good time to pull through, too.
They played the jack a little longer here. This is not nearly as short as last end.
Oh, this is about 2/3 to 3/4 now.
Which is an interesting concept. I thought for sure they would stick with the shorter ends, but it clearly isn't what Herman wanted, as he locked his in there within a few inches.
I think the logic in this was for Herman to put it where he could put his bowl on it.
Mm-hmm. Just on the wrong side of that bowl.
And once again, if the lead can get on the jack right away,
it's golden.
Gives you the leg up. Ooh, Clement pulls it nicely. A 3-ender for BC would make this one exciting end, wouldn't it?
It sure would. It sure would. I'm curious to see if we can have another exciting finish like we did this morning. I don't think it'll quite be like that, but
another ESPN moment.
Mm-hmm. Glad we got it on film.
Just a little shy. Can't be short when you're down.
Nope, especially when the bull and jack separation there is a fair bit, and it's lined up directly in front, so you're definitely going to need something behind as a receiver at some point.
This is interesting. Stanley's coming in with his backhand onto this head.
That's definitely not what I would be doing there. Those 2 Alberta bulls there look to be...
That's what I was thinking too.
Pretty dangerous. Unless he's playing around to get a back bowl. But even still, I wouldn't be doing that hand.
Well, he needs the points right now.
Yeah, that's the danger.
Well, Alberta's got a back bowl now. BC's got 2 in the head.
Yeah.
Lots of bowls to come yet, though. Certainly Alberta's going to be playing that same side.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You can get an inside rub, you're laughing. You got to be here first, though.
Gotta be here.
That's maybe second shot.
A second shot, but
Definitely probably wishing he had another foot on that.
I think so. That's what I call the ABS shot.
Anything but short.
Anything but short. Now Stanley's coming that same side again.
And did almost the exact same bowl, just pushing the Alberta Bulls through and lying in for a second shot. I guess in theory it's getting him points in the head right now, which they're looking to score a few, but he's given up position to do it. Lyle came quite narrow there.
Quite narrow, quite heavy.
I think he was probably trying to do the exact same thing that Stanley was doing, was just come in a little.
Stevens coming at a forehand. There's a back bowl. Not also sure that's what he wanted to do. But coming this way, he's got a lot of fast green to come through. You can see where the green is dried out a little bit.
A little more brown. And Lyle has just cleared off the shot bowl.
And left himself shot. I think Pat enjoyed that shot.
I am sure he did.
He's looking for an advance here or a wick in. He got the wick in.
Got the wick, but a little too much.
A little too much, I think.
They're all gonna take a look and see what's what in the head, but
see who's who in the zoo.
I think Pat's looking to play on his backhand to try to maybe trail the jack back a little. I can hear him as Pat's walking up the green there, saying, you know, here's what Christie's gonna do. So he's already trying to think, you know, one step ahead, two steps ahead.
Yep.
Which is what you need to be doing at this level.
He's going to try to rest either one of BC's bowls. He gets the right rub. He could get both of them actually.
Mm-hmm.
He's coming down forehand.
Definitely not what I was expecting.
That wasn't what I was expecting either.
He's coming up well short too. And flopped against the bias there. And Christie is quick on the mat to try to change things up here a little bit.
He's trying to take he was going after Pat's bowl. Or Lyle's bowl, excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
Even better.
And Pat's got a nice one here.
Yeah, that's a much better bowl.
Look at that, draws it cold.
That's a beautiful shot.
Really nice shot. Getting the green running about 12-6 right now.
Okay, so it's still slowly picking up pace here. Christie's going to need some fortunate rearranging there, not quite.
Looks like he sailed through.
So that's at least one for Alberta. I think that was just one for Alberta to make it 15-11. And we are on the last end here, folks.
And it looks like Alberta's probably got it, unless we see a photo finish like we saw in the last one. And Herman's playing that same length again, about the 2/3 to 3/4.
Mm-hmm. And this first bowl here is going to be potentially the deciding factor for the whole game here. If you can really set up this head here in your favor, it can win you the game.
I think he's a little hot.
I think so too. Well through, although he had a good line.
I got a hunch Clement will be right on. Yep.
Yeah, that looks pretty close.
He's certainly in the neighborhood. On the professional side, probably about just over mat length short.
See if Herman can make a bit of an adjustment off of his first.
Looks like he's still got a lot of heat on it.
Yeah, that still looks pretty quick.
He might be giving Clement a little bit of a push. Yes,
Yeah.
he is.
Push Clement in.
That's going to be tough to make 5 points, though.
Mm-hmm. Clement's delivery there, his knee comes back on the other side of his foot. I'm curious how that doesn't start to wear you down.
The way he twists his knee on his delivery must be hard on his knee.
Mm-hmm. That's what I was thinking. I'd probably want to be wearing a knee brace every time I deliver, just in case you pop your knee out of place.
But he doesn't have much weight to bear down on it, though, so. If somebody was a little chunky, that'd be a tough delivery on the knee.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Stanley really taking his time there to make sure he gets the line just right. There's starting to be a bit of a crowd here building, as this is one of the last few games to finish. A lot of spectators here. I wonder if that pressure's starting to really get to anybody as they start to feel the eyes on them.
Most of the games have finished, so
Mm-hmm.
it's mostly the other bowlers now who are taking a chance to
Scout out
watch
the
what's
opposition.
happening. Pat's calling for Francis to move the right bowl in.
Mm-hmm.
His bowl in the front, right hand side. He's just a little hot and high.
Mm-hmm. Stanley is quick on the mat, though.
Tough to get a big head on that.
Yeah, that is going to be difficult to score at least 4 to tie, but nobody likes ties, so I'm sure they're looking for 5 for the win.
Ooh. Hit shot bowl, but not square. So it looks like BC A beat Alberta A by a pretty healthy score, in excess of 28-13. It was a big win for BC girls. That was Ann Matthey and Mary Wright, Belle Chan, and Ann Van Bestler. Lyle Adams just delivering his first bowl. putting in a position bowl at the back.
Mm-hmm. Stevens looking to add to a bit of a pocket there. See if they can start to build a cluster of 4 or 5.
He's got to group at least 2 or 3 of them together.
Mm-hmm.
Not sure what Lyle was doing on that bowl. I think he was just
looking to draw, but really narrows what I think.
didn't hit his line. There's the 3rd bowl into the cluster.
Mm-hmm. So starting to
No,
look
not
like
quite. Not quite deep enough. He had to be behind the jack to give
Mm-hmm.
Christie the chance to get more than 3. He's got to get 4 to tie, right?
That's right. That's right. And there is always the option to kill it too. So if there isn't a pocket of 3 or 4 for BC, we could always see Christie throwing some heat into that. Although without a bowl glued to the jack or relatively close, there's quite a lot of holes there. So it would be a bare jack kill, and that's not an easy thing to do.
That's a tough shot to make. You know, if you've got everything clustered around the jack, there's a good chance of getting a kill. But when there's nothing around the jack,
Yeah.
you got to be quite a sharpshooter to make it.
You can't get the jack square, you have to only be able to get a piece of it, so you can't even be looking for the whole thing. That makes it small to even smaller of a target.
Yeah, I think Pat should be fairly relaxed on this bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Those are nice jerseys that the Alberta team's got.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. They do look nice.
Boy, compared to Christy Graham, he sure takes a long time in the mat.
Yeah, in comparison, you can definitely see the difference, but really wants to be sure of this bowl as it's getting down to the end, and you don't want to be giving away the game.
Look at that.
Look at
Draws
that
in
bowl.
shot. Just nice, cool, and controlled. Not in a hurry for anything.
I would fully expect Christie to be looking to kill it here now, as that's going to be difficult to try to muster up 4.
Well, he could come down heavy onto Pat's last bowl, drive those 2 out, and be sitting 3. He's coming down heavy. There goes the
Goes
jack.
the jack, and he got the kill.
And he got the kill.
Wow.
Look at that.
Wow,
Look at that.
what a bowl.
First bowl.
Yep.
Kill a jack. I don't care how big the target is, just kill it. Real nice bowl by Christy Graham.
Mm-hmm.
Never give up.
Looking at some of the ladies' games still going on, Ontario A is up 13-10 over Alberta B in the women's 4s, and they're playing their last end here. Further on down the line, Saskatchewan is down 16-10 against Nova Scotia in women's 4s. Those are the only 2 games left on that deck beside us, so that's the only scores I'll be able to tell you. So we'll try this again. Last end, potentially.
Same length jack.
Mm-hmm.
A better bowl to start with by the looks of it. No, he's through.
He's through again. He was fairly heavy with his last first bowl.
Gosh, he's probably 3 to 4 meters through. And Clement, I got a hunch he's going to be right on with that weight. Yes, look at that.
Yeah, that's a pretty good opening bowl.
I'd be happy with that.
Mm-hmm.
Better weight, I think. Yep, good adjustment.
Yeah, that is a pretty good adjustment there.
Yep, Pat's happy with it. Shot drawn.
Shot itself.
Yeah, one bowl to figure it out, one bowl to put it on. Game of fours. Ooh, I do believe Clement's come up a little short.
Mm-hmm. It's definitely not what you want when you need to be building up a pocket of.
How's that saying
3 or
go?
4.
Don't be short when you're down.
If you're down, you got to be up.
Francis's first bowl. Looks like he's a little heavy. Certainly got the back covered off.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, he's already got one back there already.
Well, maybe they're hoping that they'll be able to drag the jack back, and that way it's less likely that Graham can kill it if need be.
You'd have thought that Pat would have called for the jack to be closer to the ditch so that
That's what I would have expected, just because.
make
that way
it tougher to kill.
Yeah. But I guess they're looking to maybe just stick with what they know for this length, and he's more
And you can
focused on getting the draw weights down, I suppose.
Yeah, you can see the logic of that. You know, play what you're confident at, and
Mm-hmm.
just make sure that they can't get another shot in, get enough to win. Stanley Chow's got a good bowl coming in here.
It looks like
Is
there's-
it good enough to get
yeah.
shot?
I think it's not quite. That is a nice little cluster there off to the side, though.
It's a great cluster. Unfortunately, he's not sitting shot. Great cluster to hit, but you're not going to end up with 4 out of it.
Mm-hmm. Still a bare jack, if need be. I wouldn't be surprised if Christie needs to go after that again.
Lyle turns his hat to the back.
As is his wont.
Going to drop it in on the forehand. Looks like it's got pretty good weight.
Might be a little spicy.
Look at that. Nicely done.
Just
Tucks it in.
tucks it in there.
Makes it a very small target now.
Mm-hmm.
Christie's calling for Stephen to take it through. He's got to make contact with something here.
Yeah, that short
He
ball
does.
chipped it out of the way.
Gets it out of the way. I think that was Clement's second bowl.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Pat's taking a good look here.
Calling him in for position bowl at the back.
Mm-hmm. Need you right in here. Get to my foot.
Am I trying to push that ball back?
So Pat's saying there is still a chance that they could trail for 4, so I want you right here to stop that.
Looks like he's doing what he's told to do.
Yeah, he's definitely not far away. Does he have the legs? Not quite, but
Pushed his bull in for shot. Could be holding at least 1, possibly 2 right now.
mhm.
I can't see the opening for 4 points there.
Pat was saying that they could still trail for 4, so I'm wondering if that just meant that there's 2 back there. You could trail for 3 and draw with his 4th.
I think that's more what he's intimating.
We'll see what Steven can do if he can change things up here or keep building that nest.
He's coming with his backhand, so he's certainly going to try for that trail. If he picks it up, he's got a nice line. Might be a little tight. Look at that, he went through the hole.
That chipped one of the Alberta bulls sideways, if I'm not mistaken.
It looked like that now. He was close.
He was close, although he had a whole lot of weight for that. I'm not sure if he would have got it if it would have even still stayed live. He might have chipped it back and out of bounds.
With the weight that he had on it, if it had gone straight back, he'd have only been up 1 at the best and possibly down 2.
Mm-hmm. A little too aggressive for 4 trail.
Lyle's calling Pat in on the same shot that Pat called Lyle in on.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he's there.
Well, he's still trucking, but not quite.
No, he
Just.
just into the back. Nice touch.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I wonder if Christie's got a plan here.
Is there still a chance to get 4 here, or even trail for 3 and draw for 4?
That 3-ender was really tough.
Nope,
he's going after it
going
again.
after the kill. And he missed.
Ooh. Yeah, this is
Lyle's calling for a blocker.
bailout bulls now for Christie.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like he's going to try to put one right down the center line. He did not come across enough.
Nope.
And Christie's just going to go for it again. Does he have it this time?
Nope.
Nope.
They're
2
shaking
through.
hands.
Alberta A gets it. Well done. Well done.
So that is the game, and that's it for us here today. We'll be picking up again tomorrow morning. I believe rounds start at 9 a.m. local time. So thanks again for commentating with me today, Ivo.
That was just great. Really enjoyed it, Jake.
All right, we'll see you guys tomorrow morning.